Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom back here again with round one of the 8-man tournament. We are going to choose tails, we choose tails every time, and we got rewarded. I would like to go first. Alright, our opponent is mulliganing a hand of Team Flare Grunts, Grass, Water, and Double Energy Retrieval. Interesting, okay. Um, we're going to start Deoxys here. Neither is a great starter for us, but you definitely don't want to start Jirachi. There's matchups where you can't even play Jirachi onto the bench because of fear of it getting knocked out, so we're definitely not opening with it. If we're going to play Jirachi, we're going to get some value out of it. That being said, I think our first turn will just be firing off this N here. And looks like our opponent's deciding what they want to do. But yeah, so I imagine our first turn, we can't really afford to attach to the Deoxys because of the 2 retreat cost. When you're playing, do not want to play this. When you're playing Virizion Genesect, the power all comes from the first 2 attachments, and the first 2 turns going on to those Virizions, so we can't really waste time attaching even 1, much less 2 energy to the Deoxys. We need to be able to use a card like Switch and attach to the Virizion. So this is really interesting. Trevenant EX. I'm just going to read this card so I know what it does. Dark Forest for 20. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. And then Wood Blast for 50. And it does plus 20 for each other grass. Okay. And then he has the Shaman EX. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. And yeah, like I said, I think we're just firing off that N. This does punish us if we don't draw a Virizion, which we didn't. Our alternative plays there were to Jirachi for a Skyla for an Ultra Ball, but I feel like 6 was enough cards to do the job. So let's go ahead and attach here. Actually, I don't even think we need to attach. I think we're just gonna ship. Actually, let's go ahead and attach for energy switch shenanigans and ship the turn back. So not an optimal first turn. I think this next turn I'm gonna go ahead and Skylift for an Ultra Ball, discarding. Interesting question. I'm not sure what I'll be discarding. Depends on my draw step, I guess. Getting a Virizion out, attaching to it, and just switching probably, and really hoping to get that third turn Emerald Slash. Right, we have a basic Kyogre from our opponent here. There's a Sharon to draw back 3 cards. Play another Kyogre and hit us for 20. Alright, so not much going on in our opponent's hand either. There's a Genesect that feels pretty good. So if I Skyla for an Ultra Ball, I can discard Muscle Band and switch, but that doesn't seem too great. Although we do have 4 switch effects, so I think we just have to fire it off. We're not going to be discarding our Jirachi, we're not going to be discarding our energy, so I think that's really all we can do. I don't think there's any other options, excuse me, to really power out that Virizion. So let's just go ahead and do that, discarding these 2. We'll take the Virizion, slam it onto the bench, and attach. This also activates its ability, Verdant Wind, which makes it so that this Deoxys, because it has Grass Energy on it, can't be affected by special conditions. So, and we're holding the Jirachi here. The main reason is I think that we can kind of bait our opponent into making a subpar play because they don't think that we have any supporters. The argument for playing it would be that if we get End or something, it's bad. But at 1 card in our hand, I think that we have to, if we got End, we just draw 6 new ones. I think that's totally fine. Alright. Our opponent taking some time to consider some things. Got the 3rd Trevenant on the bench. There's a Pokemon catcher with a heads. I assume he's going to hit that Genesect. Yeah, okay. So maybe it's good we didn't fire off the switch there. Or sorry, that we didn't. Oh, and there's 20. Lysander doesn't do anything. I just think we're going to go ahead and Jirachi. I would like to use Stellar Guidance. Let's take a Professor Juniper and draw 7 new ones. I guess we can go ahead and Flare Tool will prevent him from using the attack once more. No energy is rough though. Let's attach here, attach a muscle band so we don't get head ringered, and just ship the turn back. That's pretty unfortunate. At this point, we need to hit energy switch on our next turn, which we can do. You know, we can just kind of be brave and G booster, and then Juniper and draw 7 new ones. Didn't look through our deck. I was a little sloppy there, but we do have 3 more switch effects and 8 more energy. There's a Lysander that bring the Jirachi up. Interesting. I am gonna go ahead and attach, and let's hope we hit a switch here. Okay, we hit an escape rope, so not bad. Let's go ahead and just fire off the escape rope. It doesn't actually puts them in a pretty worse position, I think. What are the retreat costs on these guys? Yeah, 3. I have to imagine that's 4. Yeah, so the Shaman with 1 is his only real option unless he wants to devote energy to another attacker, and even the Shaman is going to be taking 70 this turn if he promotes it. And this will actually just get knocked out. So he actually has a pretty interesting decision to make. What's the chat looking like? I really wish that PTCGO would inform you of chats. Maybe it does now, but it hasn't in the past. Oh, inactivity? Ah. Yeah, so our opponent does switch into the Shaman. I think we can energy switch here onto the Genesect, which might be a fine plan, but I think we can actually just hold it. So let's go ahead and give ourselves the most information possible before we decide to fire off the energy switch. Again, we can be punished if our opponent ends or something like that, but it's not like we don't have more of them in the deck, and I'd rather be able to be patient and make a correct decision than possibly mess up. So unless our opponent has a switch, he will be paying 1 energy on the Shaman to retreat, which will mean that he can't attack with the Trevenant. But he has attached to the Kyogre, so it looks like he either has a switch or is willing to just give the Shaman as a prize. And the other power about the Virizion Genesect deck, and the reason I like it so much, is that in this situation, let's say our opponent just passes here, we are fine just Emerald Slashing again. Not only are we taking a prize, but even if we weren't, we're just dealing a relevant amount of damage. 70 is not a small amount, and we're also powering up our second Genesect. So this, yeah, he just passes the turn. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we have the 2 Plasmas, and I'd like to use those in a turn where we can knock out one of the Trevenants, or at least one of the turns where we don't already have a free knockout. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach like this, take the knockout, and build up that second Genesect. And we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 energy on board with none left, so that means we have 2 prized. Alright. Not playing a supporter there just because we only had ends, and I don't think that's where we really where we want to be. Our opponent didn't have anything going on. Does just need an energy to attack, but even the attack isn't going to be that relevant, and I think we would rather have this big hand to where if we do get end, we have more outs to drawing those good cards. Flare Grunt's annoying, but nothing too serious. And here's an Ultra Ball. Have to imagine this is getting a Jirachi if our opponent plays it. Oh, Xerneas EX. Interesting. I did see the Fairy Energy, so I wondered what that was for, but certainly an unorthodox deck. Interesting. And there's the second energy, and he's just passing the turn. I don't know why he wouldn't at least attack with the first attack to prevent me from retreating, but I'll take it. Oh, maybe he did. Sorry, maybe I missed that. Oh, yeah, okay, he did. Alright, so I think at this point we can go energy switch to here. We could also fire off the second energy switch and just power up this Genesect with a huge amount. That would also, we're going to colorless this turn, and that would also bring our numbers down a bit, or sorry, bring the cards that we're putting back in our deck down a bit, which would help. This is an interesting one. I don't think we do. I think we leave it there in case he ever breaks the lock. Then we'll just be able to retreat naturally. Let's go ahead and discard these two and get a second Virizion. Now our bench is full for this colorless. No switch cards off of 10, that's pretty unfortunate. Let's muscle band this second Genesect. Do we waste the energy switch to just attack once more? I don't think so. Let's ship the turn back. Now we have Skyla for our escape bar switch, and we also have Plasma Energy if anything goes wrong. So I think we have this game. Certainly not over yet, but I don't think it should last more than a few turns. Ooh, and there's a Colress of our opponent's own. Certainly getting back into this game with that. Pokemon Catcher is a heads. Bringing up the Jirachi, but that's not too big of a deal for us. Yeah, let's just go ahead and Skyla for the switch. This is our last switch card in our deck, so we need to keep that in mind. Switch to this Genesect. And energy switch to it as well. And then let's Ultra Ball some of these useless cards out of our deck. I don't actually take anything. I don't care too much. I don't want to use the energy here because another red signal will win us the game, so I think we just want to hold both of them. There's a G booster. We still have the energy to do so next turn. And if left unchecked, we just attach the plasma, red signal, and G booster one of the EXs. I'm assuming he has something though, an N here, but drawing that plasma energy was nice. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards with 10 cards in our deck, so we'll have 17 cards, 4 of which will be plasma energies, only drawing 2. Not the best chances in the world, but alright, this Kyogre could actually knock us out though. Spring Tides would only need a... How many heads would I need? Let's see. Whoops. It does 30 times. So 6 heads? That's not bad. That seems doable. Alright, so we do just have game here. He's going to go ahead and do 10 to our whole bench, but unfortunately, yes. And G booster. We'll go ahead and discard the plasma and the grass. And victory is ours. Let's see what we get in our prize wheel. Come on, mystery box. Sorry, no trainer token. Alright, ticket's fine. We paid 3 to be in this tournament, so pretty nice to get one back already. Alright, so we won that game. Didn't seem too difficult. Our opponent kinda just didn't really get what he needed the entire time. We won 6-0, so not too bad. I'll see you back for round 2.